Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to this lecture on scaling applications. Our topic today is concerned about how to scale our deployed application, which is deployed on OpenShift container platform. Before we start, let's review some of the prerequisites very quickly. In order to continue in this demo, you need to have basic knowledge of containerization, basic knowledge of Docker file structure, basic knowledge of YAML file structures, basic knowledge about OpenShift container platform. Okay, let's start our topic. We want to talk about scaling applications. Before we start the demo, we need to understand why do we want to scale applications. Actually, in real world application, we do not deploy business applications as single instances or single server or as a single pod. Actually, we deploy multiple instances of our application because we want to serve as many users as possible. We want to keep going with the growing and increasing requests that come into our application. The same like what was happening in the past when we used to deploy our application on-prem to physical or virtual servers. The same business requirement is valid today. Even if I am deploying a business application into a container, into a pod, we still have the business need to scale this deployed application horizontally to serve more and more end users. The feature which enables me to do this is called horizontal pod autoscalar. This is a feature or capability in OpenShift container platform. So let's start our demo and let's start with looking at this code. To make the demo, I prepared two applications. A PHP application is one single file and it contains only one line. When the PHP application runs inside the container, it will return this message: I am running on host, and it will append the host name and the server address. And of course, since this is running from inside a container, the host name and IP address will be the container's host name and the container's IP address. Okay, so this is the first application, the PHP scale application. The second application is a very small container which contains and it is based on RHEL image and it contains one command, Apache benchmark utility. It will send that number of requests to that URL. That URL is my PHP application which will be deployed on OpenShift. So when I will deploy this application to OpenShift platform and deploy the stress application on the OpenShift container platform, when the stress application starts, it will send that number of requests to that URL, which is the URL of the PHP application. So we are simulating a real world example of a deployed application and another application requesting that application. So let's go to the OpenShift and see how it is deployed. So this is my PHP scale application. It is a deployment configuration, and currently currently it deployed one single pod, and the other deployment is the stress application, and it currently has no pods, meaning that it does not sending any requests to the PHP application. Let's check the PHP application again. Go to the resources, see the pod. This is my pod. This is the YAML. This page shows the resources usage. How much did this pod consume of memory or CPU? This is the YAML definition of the pod. This is the logs of the pod. Now let's go back to the topology and start the experiment. So from this deployment we need to create a number of pods. Let's create, for example, 10 pods. This means that OpenShift will have that number of pods, 13 pods for example. Each one of them will send a request, or that number of requests which we saw before, to my PHP pod. So this is the stress pod. From the logs we see that it is benchmarking the PHP scale. Let's go to the topology again and check our PHP application. Now we can see that our PHP application has 3 pods. When we started it was only one pod, but when we started the stress applications, and because we have a big number of requests being sent to the PHP deployment, it had only one pod, and since it was receiving many requests, it scaled up the deployment to 3 pods in order to serve the common requests. Okay, so this proves that our experiment is successful. We managed to scale up the deployment to 3 pods automatically, and let's see how did that happen. We will go to search and search for horizontal pod Autoscalar and see how it is configured. It is configured as we see in the YAML file. In the spec section, we need to have a minimum number of replicas equal to 1 replica, means that 1 pod, and a maximum number of replicas to 3 replicas, and the condition or criteria that will trigger the scaling up of the pods is this parameter, the target CPU utilization percentage. If the target CPU utilization exceeded the defined number here, it will trigger the action to create a new pod. And this is how the horizontal pod Autoscalar works on OpenShift. I hope that this was a pleasant demo. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again in next lecture. Bye bye.